Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another video, and today's video is gonna be crazy because in this video I will explain how technology works. So this all came from us talking in our alliance, and that I wanted to prepare some reports for the alliance to explain how technology works, and it all ended in me and a friend going completely crazy on researching. And we found out a lot, and I want to say that a few months ago we did a lot of testing, and with the testing came out that the first person that hits in a battle provides the technology for everybody else. So we had that first hitter mentality on a team fight, and from our testing we found out that there have been changes, and today I want to talk about those because it has changed. There are some differences, and you know me, I will prove how technology works. So I have a few reports here that we will go through, and I will explain how they work. Maybe you will have to pause this video a few times to check the technology and everything else, but if we want to go through all of these reports, I need to be, I don't know, I cannot slow down that much because this would end in a 2-hour video. Okay, so I would say we start with the first attack. It was about to find out how technology works. So we needed a basis or a basic report where we can work from. So I was wearing my normal gear. This is my technology on my gear. I'll slow scroll over it. And the friend of mine had his normal technology on. In this report, when we look into the replay, I was arriving first and my friend was just in time. So here we have a few troops hitting each other and just a normal fighting report. So this was the first report. We cannot tell from that report if I provide the technology or if there is an average technology, because this is just the base for our research. So remember, I personally will just go with the infantry HP because it's always the first stat that you see on the upper left of your technology bonus. I have that 158.2 and the friend of mine has 145.3. So on the second report, we tested something else. You can immediately see that there are more losses in this report. And what we tested was me going with my normal stats, but RB, I will just call him that for the rest of the video, he took off all of his gear to decrease his technology. And you can immediately see that his infantry HP went down to 87.2. This is a big difference. And in the report, I was hitting first again, same march, same troops, everything the same. And you can see a few numbers. I could also go here into the battling report so you can pause and see the numbers. So, and this way the battle report ended. And when we look into the report again, you can see that I have more losses in my infantry and in my majors, and RB has more losses too in infantry and majors than in the report before, where he was wearing his gear with better technology. So by these two reports, we proved that there is an average technology that takes place in a battle. It is always like, it doesn't matter who hits first. There is always this breakout window of 3 seconds. You can see that in a report. Check the time on the top now. You can always see that the timer starts at 3 seconds. This comes from when units hit a target, the battle breaks out, the swords start to create, and the army pops up. And these 3 seconds are those that you can see up there. And during that time, we joined and we had our fight. So by these 2 reports, we proved that there is an average technology during a fight. And now we wanted to test something else, or we wanted to prove it even further. So on the 3rd report we did, we said that RB hits first. He wore his normal gear again. You can see his infantry HP is up to 145.3 again. And we said, okay, RB, you hit first. So we prove that it doesn't matter who hits first. And as you can see from the replay on the upper side, that RB hit first, but he hit with his normal technology, and the stats and losses, oh no, wrong window. And you can see on the first report we did, we had 267 losses, and then we had 365 on the one where he took off all his gear. And on the 3rd one, where he hit first, we again had 267 losses. So by that we proved that it doesn't matter who hits first, it is about the average of the technology. So and after these 3 hits, we were thinking like, yeah, we have to keep going. We have to find out more about our technology and how it works. So the next question we had, I just wrote on a sheet, I needed all of these informations. We were curious about the following stat. RB has a lot of damage increased against infantry. You can see that here on the lower right with 31.7%. And in my reports, I didn't include any damage increased against infantry. So we were asking ourselves, what about these 31.7%? Do they get halved, or do we fight with the complete 31.7%? And to find out that, we changed our troops that we were sending to just mages. We both just sent mages. And on the first attack, I went without damage increased against infantry, and he went with his 31.7%. We can quickly look into the replay, and you immediately see the number 302 on a mage hit of infantry that got wounded. So this doesn't matter, and we can see on the 4th report that we had 180 losses, and both of us had 786 kills. On the next report that we prepared, I am wearing the skill on the pad. I quickly show it to you. I wear this skill, the Anti-Infantry Skill, that increased my damage for troops attacking infantry by 12.4%. So in this report, you can immediately see our losses went down to 166. And in the report before, we had 180. We remember from the first report, where we tested the damage against infantry, that we had 302 kills on the first hit. If we now look into the replay, the troops are still the same. You can immediately see 316. So if we had 31.7% from RB, it would be, or it got halved, because for the calculation for the system, in the first report, I fought with 0%. So the percentage of him got halved down to, I'm currently thinking, 15.85%. Right, yeah. So, and on the second report, where I added damage increased against infantry, it got the average between these 2 points, and I think the average between that is somewhere like, I don't really know, I think it's 22.05%. But what I want to say by that is, if just one of you has a damage increased against infantry or whatever. And nobody else has this stat. It also works, or we assume that it also works for these reduced damage from. These stats get halved. And if you bring, or if you have somebody that also has this technology, it takes the average of these stats. So this is what we proved with these two reports. Now we are coming to the sixth report, where I was just hitting solo. And by that we wanted to find out how the timing works. You can see that I sent 1,000 infantry and 2,000 mages, and in the defense we had 1,000 infantry and 1,000 mages. This is a normal report, I don't have to show the replay. And on the seventh replay, RB just sent one mage. And by that we wanted to find out things about the time window, because in this report RB joined very late. We wanted to find out if there is still the average technology when a person hits very late. You can see that he's still marching and the fight is taking place all the time, and just now he joined where almost all the infantry got killed by me, and he just joined with one unit. So on the first attack I was attacking with my units alone. You can see 162 losses, and these are the kill stats for my units. And on the next report, RB joined very late, remember that. I still have the same losses and still the same kills. So by that we found out that there was no average in the technology. And then we were asking ourselves, yeah, okay, why wasn't there any average? And then we were thinking about, is there something like us being, or is there a time window where the average technology gets determined, or where does it come from? So on the next report, we went in there. I always have to find the correct reports. On the next report, 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is the next one. On this report, RB joined way earlier to the fight. You can see 2 seconds, 1, and now he joined, before the units even start to fight. And remember the report before, he joined very late, when like the whole infantry got killed. So we can speed this up, and then we will go into the report again. So in this report, I need to find it again, 3, 6, 7, 8. In this report, it's still the same stats, when he still joined very early. And so we were asking us, okay, where does that come from? These are still the same results as if I were fighting alone, but we have somebody that joined also early and late, and there's still my technology working. RB joined out of this 3-second time window, and on our 9th report, we said, okay, you join just in time with me. You can immediately see on the lower right, there was no timing where RB was still on the way. He was immediately with me in this fight. And now we are going back to the 9th report. Scrolling down all the time, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, this one. And it's still the same amount of losses, and it's still me with the same kills. And so we were asking us, okay, where does that come from? And so we were wondering ourselves, okay, maybe it has to do with the fact that RB sent just one unit. Does your army size gets included into the calculation of the average technology? And it is the fact. Your army size has an impact on the average technology that you're fighting with in a team fight. So we tested this too. We needed a new base for our research, so we did this report again. You can see our units, our kills, our losses, and if you pause the video, you can also see our technology. RB was wearing again his bad technology, and quickly going into the replay, you can see we just hit in time and the battle took place. I can open the battling army again. And yeah, so going back to the base report for this. This one, yeah, right. Correct. So we have this report as the base for our research. On the next hit, we said, okay, we need to find out how the amount of troops or how the army size works when it comes to calculating the average technology that is used for this fight. So on the next hit, this is this one, we said we still need the same amount of troops, but this time I will send more troops than RB. You can see I sent 4,500 troops and he sent 1,500. So he sent less troops, I compensated them, and he was still wearing his bad gear. Quickly going into the replay, you can see that we just arrived in time. I will speed this up a bit. But now we are coming to the results. Of course, I had more kills than RB, for sure. I was sending more army. But the deciding or the important thing about this are our losses. Remember, we still joined in time simultaneously. We checked the losses. 128 in the report where I was sending more army with my technology, and my technology was better than the technology of RB. He was wearing his bad gear. So, and if we go back to the basis of our research where we both were sending the same amount, he also had his bad technology working, but we had more losses, 138. And in the report where I sent more troops, we had 128. 95 to 33 on the player. And here we had 68 to 70 losses. So by that, we proved that what is important for the calculation of the average technology in a fight is that it is important that, or it is always an average middle of the technology, and your army size has an impact on that. Now I need to scroll up again, find the next reports. Yeah. And for sure, we also did the same thing the other way around. In one report, I sent 1,500 units and RB sent 4,500 troops. He had his bad technology. I had my normal technology. I wasn't changing gear. He was changing gear all the time, but he sent his bad technology. So, but due to the fact that he had way more troops than me, our losses were higher. We had 156 losses on this report because he had worse technology than me, but he sent more troops than me. So he had way more weight in the calculation for the average technology. And so we had more losses. Again, 156 there. Here we had 128 where I was sending more troops, and when both of us were sending the same amount of troops, we were somewhere in the middle of 138. So by these reports we proved, I can also show you again, I was hitting first in this one, then in this one I was also hitting first, and in this one I was also hitting first. So we didn't even switch who was hitting first. It didn't matter, or it doesn't matter who hits first. It is just about the average technology and the amount of troops that people are sending. And this was also why in these other reports where RB was sending only one troop, oh no, this is the base for that, where RB was only sending one troop, his technology didn't have any weight in the calculation because he was just sending one troop, and I was sending like 3,000. So there was such a low percentage of him having an impact on our average technology that it didn't even matter. So these reports where he was joining always with one unit and it didn't matter at what time, he had no impact on the technology. And by these reports here, this one, where we sent different amount of troops and they had a different impact on the technology, we proved that it is an average technology depending on your army size and the average calculation of all the stats. Then we came to the final research we did on the last few reports. These are the last 4 reports where we were thinking about I need to rewatch these reports again and read my notes. So first of all, we have our base report. This is for the basic of our research. We just joined in time. In these reports we wanted to find out if troops are hitting, troops that already have hit units, if there's a calculation after that. So we had, we had troops fighting here in this report while we were both joining simultaneously. And on the next report, we had, I think it was me joining a bit late when his majors already did a hit. You can see, hitting, did damage, then I joined. So here you can see that RB hit first. And on the base report for our research, you can see that I was hitting first and we both arrived just in time to hit simultaneously, and there was nobody delaying with the arrival. Then we are coming to another report, and in this report I was joining in time when he hit first. Remember 2 reports before, I was hitting first and he was joining in time. And you can see from the 2nd and 4th from the top that these reports are similar. It doesn't matter again who hits first, it is always about the average of the technology. On this report here you can see that by me, it was me, right? Yeah, it was me. Oh no, it was him. Yeah, he hit first a unit and then I joined. And so by him getting hit already before I joined, he had less army. So our average technology changed. And by that, we had more losses. Yeah, right. Okay, I think now I'm mixing up a bit. I need to check my notes again. Sorry, guys. Yeah, all right. Yeah, by getting those hits done, we were more like, if the technology gets determined or calculated, if it's during the battle breakout or during when hits were already done. And on the last report we did, we had me joining first. Here sadly my majors did 2 hits and then RB joined. But when we check again in the technology, there are on the last 4 on the toppest 4 reports, you can see that these 2 where we both joined simultaneously, it was all fine and we had the same results. And here on the 1st and 3rd report from the top, you can see we had almost the same losses. Sadly, in this report, my majors hit 2 times and here his majors hit 1 time. So there is a small difference in the overall losses, but it's a difference of 2 units in losses, so it should be fine. And yeah, by that we proved that it has an impact, or that the technology still gets calculated even if troops did a few hits, but it is really all about having, or it's all about your army size. It is about the calculation between, or let's just summarize what I just all talked about in these reports. Quickly need to activate my stamina recovery here. So this is how technology works in a battle. I explained through a lot of reports how it works, and now I will summarize. What has an impact on a technology? The impact is that during a battle, the system calculates an average technology that you're working with. When you're working with stats like damage increased against infantry, and for example, in the reports RB and I did, we had a report where he had 41.7% and I had 0% because I wasn't wearing this stat. So his 31.7% got halved because I had 0%, so his got halved. When I added my infantry against damage increased against infantry, the system calculated an average and increased the stat by the average that we had in our stats, and we did more kills. You can just go back in the video and find this report. We proved it and I talked about it. And what has an impact on the technology, or the average technology in a fight, is your army size. We proved that also with a lot of reports, and we will definitely keep testing out things because it is so interesting to understand how this technology works. But currently we can say your technology, or the technology for a fight in a team fight, is determined by an average of all technologies of participating players. It is important to have, and what also has an impact is your army size. So I need to find an end for this video. I could keep talking, but I just realized in the end when I was going through the last 4 reports, it got a bit confusing there. But the reports before should be clear about that. And yeah, I would say this is how technology works. I hope that this helped you, and by that the final result from all of this is everybody that is playing in your alliance should work on that technology, because the lower the technology of one player, the lower the technology of the whole team that is fighting. Keep pushing yourself, help each other out with your technology, give out tips, and just talk to each other. It is so important in an alliance to talk to each other and give tips to each other, and also talk about a lot of basic things, because it is not for sure that everybody knows things, and they can really fall behind and you don't know why, and maybe they just don't know very simple things. So keep motivating your alliance, help each other out, and offer help if you're an experienced player, or even not, and just talk to each other. This is so important for an alliance, and appreciate the help that others are giving you. It is not for sure that people do this, and just have a good time together. I hope that this video helped you. It was a bit longer than the usual, but it was a lot of fun and it is a very important topic. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments, maybe leave a like. And if you want to talk more about technology, let me know, write down in the comments what you want to see next. And I would say, see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.